Physicists, they are the scientists that can describe for us better than other scientists in other fields, describe for us what is time. Physicists, they are better about making definition about the nature of the time. In this very short YouTube program, I want to explain a little about quantum time. That means that time has quantum effect. You postulate that the rays, for example, electromagnetic rays, they consist of photons or small pockets of the energy. These photons, if we postulate in our imaginations, that consist of very small spacecraft. Every photon, if we postulate as very small spacecraft, and we postulate just in our imagination, these photons has consciousness, and these photons are separate in the quantum space surrounding those objects. For example, this is relativistic observers that will measure and calculate and give us different concept of the time and different value of the time. So I want to explain for physicists that time is quantum, or time has quantum properties. In this case, if we postulate two parallel rays, we postulate two photons in two parallel waves. They are compete together to dig in space. These passengers, if we suppose as a small spacecraft, we are God, a relative God to these small spacecraft, conscious small spacecraft. They experience different time from each other, even more. In the same line, we suppose one ray, electromagnetic wave, that is consisted of a lot of photons. If we imagine in our imagination, this small photon is very small spacecraft in one line that travel in space. I want to explain that for the observer, imaginal observer, that we postulate they are inside in this spacecraft, they experience different times, and that is the quantum small effects for small observers. And I want to say that time for different photons is different, not just about measurement and value, but also they have their own specific definition of time. So that is so much complicated. Just want to say a little and explain a little what is quantum aspect of time. Time, just like the particles and subparticles in particle physics, has quantum properties, and that is so much important, especially for physicists and more especially for everybody who wants to understand what is the concept of consciousness, all related together. And the riddle of the consciousness, this open question, this unsolved mystery is the key about make every achievement about religion, philosophy, mysticism, biology, and every aspect of the knowledge that we are dealing every day. Time is quantum, and time is quantumic, or time has quantum effect. And that means that time, we have to suppose time, just only time, but by its own itself, as a separate quantum parcel or pack that that is different for the imaginal observers that live inside the surrounding space, in surrounding space around every photon. So I want to say that so much sophistication and complicated we encounter in future, and I solved this and want to explain for other people and other scientists how I detect this difference of the time for different small observer, even inside the laboratory and under very small detectors. And for example, if we build a very sensitive microscope that is able to detect surrounding of every photon experience different type of the time, different value of the time, and different measurement of the time. However, for us as unique observer that are somebody who is a study about the photons, time is equal for this observer from outside. But for passengers of the space inside the small space beyond the lens of the microscope surrounding the photons, if we suppose every photon is one very small spacecraft and has, for example, just we imagine some tiny conscious being live in this spacecraft. They experience different time from the parallel rays, and and even about the photon who are released sooner and later, the behind and front, all absolutely is the same for the human being as observer. But for imaginary small observers, this time is different, and not just only relativistic, but also similar to a package of the space, and the package of the or parcel of the different separated small frameworks that is so much sophisticated, and I will be able to explain later for scientists. God bless you all.